is On Point with Chicago Communicated News Media. Sandra Campbell and TJ Daniels, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you, Wanda, for having us.
We have an exquisite guest tonight. It is my goddaughter, Miss Roxie Williams, and she has just gone and made herself the most popular person I know. The most popular, Sandra. What you got to say about that? She is the Black Chamber of Commerce Administrative Officer. Welcome, sweetie.
Couldn't happen to a better person.
It couldn't
What
have
a
happened.
great selection.
Yes,
oh my God.
Yes.
Welcome, Roxie.
Welcome.
Come on, ma'am, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I thank you guys totally for having me on the show.
Yes.
It is more of my honor and privilege to be amongst the champions, and that would be you, Queen Mama, and
wow.
you,
Thank
Sandra. I've come a long way in my career, 20 years in community service. My greatest accomplishment was bringing up what we knew as child care initiatives as the subsidized child care director, being committed to putting women back to work. And so from that, I learned that politics is always involved.
Yes,
when you have a heart commitment to the community, and you have to know the two. So from there, being mentored by Edward G. Gardner of Saw Sheen Products, it's just in my blood to do right by our people.
I love it.
Committed to the community, whether they committed to me or not, I'm gonna keep forging forward. So my commitment has been to our Black businesses, Sandra. I started an organization prior to this announcement called the Underground Network Group.
Oh, okay.
And it was founded out of frustration. You know how we do that?
Yeah.
And 7 bad women in my home, who wasn't scared to speak truth to power. Yeah. We, as a network, built 101 Black-owned, Black-operated businesses in the Southland.
Really?
And so whereas we did that from the ground, we weren't really accepted, Sandra, into the other chambers of commerce, because they had their own niche and how they did things, and the issues that the SBA wasn't addressing for our Black businesses, we were addressing ourselves. We were finding the most knowledgeable, the most talented professionals to mentor our business owners. Yeah. And without my, I just watered, God gave the increase.
Okay.
And from there, I realized that we have work to do. And so in my quest to make things work, we have Black pharmacies. I know more about pharmacies and restaurants. And,
say you learned a lot.
I mean, I can't believe that our businesses, people are putting their life savings into trying to bring up businesses. And my irritation was, I don't want any more pop-up shops.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
If you're going into business, I want you to be Black in business. Okay. I want you to be a Black person who does business like it is outlined, not your own way, but the way that it is supposed to be done. And I realized, Sandra, as I've always realized, you got to teach the thing that you want to get the result out of.
That's right. That's right.
And so I began to do webinars. I began to do, and it became passive income for me because I wanted them to have the most updated information. Okay. And offside of that, I've done the census. I mean, I've always been in a leadership role.
Okay.
Trying to do good in the hood, so to speak.
And you have.
And I can tell you, Sandra and Wanda, our people have taken me to task.
Okay.
Because they have not made helping them easy. Sometimes helping them has hurt me, either my feelings or my pockets, but helping them has been a straight struggle. And when I realize when people are in that kind of struggle, you've got to get the problem out the way before you can help the person.
Right.
So it's like if they hungry, give them some food for you go talking about something else,
Right.
And so I have evolved into the leader that wants to be the voice of our Black businesses. And I'm unapologetically Black. I've been called prejudiced, and I've had to straighten that out and tell people that I have the right to have a preference for the type of businesses I serve, just like my counterparts. So I collaborate with other people, I partner with other people, but when it comes down to building and giving resources, I do, and it's an tribute to our mentor, Morgan Carter, that we do not overlook our own community. So I've been out in the South suburbs trying to get it, Sandra.
That's all that counts. Sandra.
Now, Roxie, you know, I was really invigorated by everything you said. And again, so true. So tell me, in your new role, you will be able to do this for more Black businesses throughout the state of Illinois? Or do you have a particular region or area that you're going to be focusing in on?
Okay, so coming in, they had an executive director. I was able to just assess the accomplishments that the chamber has made prior to my coming in. My role is a greater role. I will be over the whole of Illinois. So it's not just going to be Chicago or the South suburbs or the metropolitan Chicago area. I will go down to Taylorville and Rockford, you know, wherever our people are. I will be seeking out our Black businesses that are in need of assistance. We have transformed the leadership in the Black Chamber of Commerce of Illinois to get the best and the most productive leaders. Most of our board members are successful and accomplished entrepreneurs themselves. So what I'm able to do with this board, I have never been able to do with a board before. We have committees that do that handle certain areas. So, like, I'm interested in procurement grants. I'm interested in making sure that we are represented on state boards. I'm interested in legislative policy. We have committees that are developed to focus just on that. We lobby. We make sure that when Amazon and many of the other big name folks come in our communities, that we're getting our proper piece of their pie. So on one part, my job is to keep my ear to the ground on opportunities and job opportunities for our community, get involved with those contracts before the ink dries. And the other part is to build this chamber from the ground. We have a lot of corporate sponsors, which is very different for a Black Chamber of Commerce. However, when money gets involved and legislators gets involved, sometimes it will cause you to change the mission in which you set out. And so what my job is to make sure this executive team stays on task. If we set to be at the table when Amazon brings all of their business out to the South suburbs, mama ain't going to lunch with nobody. You can't change my mama. Everything that we, girl, you're going to treat me like Waldo. Where's Rock?
Welcome back, Mr. Birch and Mr. Grady Norwoods and Miss Lavette Hayes. Welcome to the show, everybody. We have a wonderful speaker on, Miss Roxie Williams, and I just want you all to know that we know you're here. So, can anybody join the chamber? I mean, are there requirements for anybody to join?
Well, you know what's going to be unique in this next 6 months? We're going to do something a little different. I come from a grandmother that always said, put the cookies where the kids can get them.
I know that's right.
And so since they made that wonderful commitment to me, we're going to allow our Black businesses into the chamber from, if they come in before the end of this month while I'm newly appointed, we will give them 6 months in the chamber free. So I am looking for all Black businesses that want to be part of a greater transformation and movement to contact Roxie, contact BCCI, and get on board with a train that is smoking out of the station.
Whoa.
Well, what make sure you send us that information where we can put it up on our website. And
Absolutely.
I expect to hear and see that announcement on Instagram, TikTok. Everybody's into TikTok now.
Yeah.
Twitter. That's a wonderful opportunity.
Yes.
I mean, that's like getting Donors Forum or something free for 6 months. I mean, that
That's
is
great.
everything.
You can't beat that.
That's great. You cannot beat that. And it's much needed because, one thing about we as Black people, we have all these great ideas. We have all this energy. We get ready. Like you said, we throw your life savings into it.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you run out there and you're in unfamiliar territory and you panic, you freeze, and you perish.
Yes.
So having that assistance, no matter where you are in the game, is going to do nothing but help them. And to have it for 6 months, oh my goodness,
That's great.
That's great.
That's really great.
And if I could say this is what I'm talking about, transforming the chamber, is that you have to have board of directors and executive leaders that are open to innovative ideas.
Yes.
You all already know how out the box I can be. But to come into a very professional environment where that they are open to new ideas, they're open to innovation, and they are on the same page of making an even better business enterprise. Girl, I feel like a kid in a candy store.
I like that. I like that. TJ, you got a question for our guest?
Hi, Ms. Williams. My question is, there are roughly 1.79 million Black individuals in the state of Illinois. How would the Black Chamber of Commerce try to promote to the ones who don't own businesses and are of legal age to register a business to start those businesses? And how will they help them? Because I know that a lot of the time when you're creating a business, it is a real confidence issue. You have to have confidence in your business so that others will have confidence in your business. How would the Black Chamber of Commerce of the state of Illinois aid those individuals in that quest?
I like that.
Okay, well, that's a good question, Anthony, and I'm glad you asked that. Part of our commitment is going to be to youthpreneurs and startup businesses. Because you have a conglomerate of successful business owners, we want to give back to those younger people or those people who just have a passion for the work that they're starting a business for. And I am a clear believer that we don't do things fast. That's the only thing. We have to slow some of our members down. I don't do things fast. I do them correct. So the chamber would be the resource, or what you would call the oracle. Okay. That would give the information to our startup and new business owners, showing them how to create, establish, and build their business so that it has value. And what I mean is, you may start in your basement, but you will build the value of your business through the chamber, that people would want to expand your business. We want to build capacity into our Black businesses.
That's very key.
Anthony, to just further that conversation, say you're good at making hats. Well, we're good at getting the network to buy your hat. We're good at getting the network to market your hat. What we have to prepare you for is not only making that hat, but making millions of those hats, where that you are not broke trying to do it. So we show you how to build capacity into your businesses, because if we do it in Chicago, remember, I'm over the state of Illinois. I may want to take that down to Southern Carbondale. I may want to take it out to Taylorville. But I have to make sure that you are established, your product is trademarked, and see, I have to make sure that you're okay before we start duplicating. Because as we know, in this environment, we have to protect our businesses. People will let us grow our businesses and then try to, take them from under us. And that day is old. So the chamber would be that big brother watching and keeping watch over new startup business, and make sure you have what you need to succeed.
All right. Miss Levette, you have a question for our guest?
Good evening, Miss Williams. How are you doing today?
I am wonderful. It's a blessing to be in your presence.
Congratulations on your great position. And I hope that you are able to do all that you inspire to do for your community. What my question is, I do know of other Black chambers, local, county, and you are state. So how do you connect with those chambers, and do you have a list of those chambers, and are they unified in one voice to be able to guide these businesses, especially the Black businesses, because the pandemic seemed to have really shown a disparity in the funding resources, and maybe in also in the knowledge of how it all worked. There was a lot of confusion, and I think that a unified voice would really help us guide us through navigate us through these kind of strange waters.
Wow. Well, I thank you for the question. It's loaded, and I'm going to unpack that thing real quickly.
I love it.
In our culture right now, we do have a lot of the same things, and I don't believe in monopolies in anything that we do. However, we have to change what I call the mindset in business, that we don't compete, we collaborate. And so as a chamber, it will be my position to work with our board to onboard partnerships and collaborations with the other chambers. I'm not afraid to even do that. But I do business like business. There ain't gonna be no handshake and we smiling. Whatever you need to deliver, you've got to deliver that with a spirit of excellence, because we are not going to promote division, and we're not going to promote separatism. Our communities are already divided. Our businesses are all, that's why we cannot move to a higher level, because instead of being one for all and all for one, we're every man for ourselves. And that is the mindset that the Black Chamber of Commerce of Illinois, our division, is going to transform. We will become those leaders that get everybody to the table and have a conversation. So I think a lot of people have not been comfortable, like I think Anthony mentioned. They're not confident enough to bring us together. We're an excellent team, ready to rock and roll. And we are going to bring the real players to the table and have that community discussion like mature business people, and just let each other be comfortable with collaboration and let each other be comfortable with partnerships.
Like that.
It's enough out here for everyone to be able to have it an expression. Yes. And so for our chamber, I don't want anybody trying to snuff out our light so that they can shine brighter. That's not what we do as African American, Black, brown people. What we do is I reach down and pull you up before I push you down. And so this chamber will be that arm that, we'll extend the olive branch. We'll reach down and lift a brother up. And that's what I think some of the confusion in the community is about, is that everybody wants to still be I, me, and my, and we are we right now.
There you go.
And I just like to follow up. And I think that as that collaboration moves forward, the most important thing are the small businesses that's trying to deal with the navigation through all of the pandemic, business funding that's coming through, and have some kind of guidance on that. And I'd just like to make a correction. The young man that asked those questions, he's 15 years old, and his name was TJ. So Anthony hadn't yet gotten on, but I just wanted to give that little plug because he's such a wise young soul, old soul.
And if I could say this to you, this is what, when you come from a good background, you still have the integrity of your upbringing. Yes. And you all can relate to the cleanup woman when she makes it easy. For me to be in this position, I've got to clean up what they messed up. And I've got to make it easy so that when you go to our websites, you can navigate to meet your needs. And we are in the process, our new website is under construction, but we're in the process of getting you the news you can use, making sure it's the most up-to-date information for our Black businesses. And we will be, again, working, one business at a time, making sure that you have what you need to succeed.
All
I
right.
look forward to it. Thank you so much.
All
Can
right.
you hear me, Wanda?
Yes, I can hear you. You can ask your question now.
Yeah, let me say this, Roxie. I just got off the phone with Odie, and we were talking about the fact that if we are the majority in most of these municipalities, then we should be getting 85% of the contracts. If we're 13 to 15% of the American population, then we should be getting that kind of percentage of contracts. So that when we think about Black Wall Street and the fact that we did business with each other and that money rotated more than 10 times, we got to get back to understanding that our community is no different than the Hispanics, the Jews, and how they spend their money with each other.
That's correct.
And as I go throughout the city of Chicago, the state of Illinois, and the country, I just find it appalling that other nationalities don't spend their money with us like we spend our money with them. And that needs to change.
Can I speak to that? Thank you so much. I appreciate that, even the question. I want to say this. Procurement, grant writing, getting the dollars that are so due to us is contingent on not us wanting to do business with them, but them wanting to do business with us. And what we have to do is humble ourselves as leaders and let the best, brightest leader go forth without 50 people trying to do the same thing. When two people are doing the same thing, one's not going to be necessary. And so for me, I plan to have the conversations, get the preparations before we go to the table and demand. And I enjoy our chairman of the board. He has been on the ground for 20 plus 30 years doing this work. And so when you have the best and the brightest minds amongst you, why would we not allow the people who can secure the deals for us to go forward? That's something that the crab in the barrel syndrome amongst our culture has to stop. And I'm going to take it to task as a leader in BCCI, is that we stop doing things that are toxic to us being able to do business with anybody across the world, not just here, but we've got to get it right here in order to get it right everywhere else.
All right.
That is so true.
Grady.
I got a chance to hear some of Roxie's statements and everything, and we're welcoming her aboard. Just in case you all don't know, I've been a part of this chamber stuff for at least last 10 years, so I'm excited. She got me excited about her energy, so she even woke up these dry bones. And I heard Yvette talk about local chambers and all of that. We're fighting hard to try to figure out. Everybody got these little fiefdoms and territories, but since this pandemic thing, I think it's going to open up some avenues by which we can communicate in terms of making sure that if we can get more as a group as opposed to us being divided. So we welcome Roxie. We're looking forward to working with her. So I think I saw Will. I don't know if I see.
Yeah, he's on here. I was trying to get him to jump in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm here. So we're here to support her. So I can't do everything she tell me to do, but most of the things that she need, we will definitely support her on that.
Add a word. All right. Margot, you got a question for our guest?
I'm excited. I'm really, really excited. Roxy, congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh my God, this is a wonderful experience to hear because a month and a half ago, I pulled a listing of all of the chambers and didn't realize that every community had their own individual chamber. But however, I was able to make contact with about 14. And I just felt that it was kind of strange that everybody was independent. And I was looking and meeting with one of my business partners, and I shared some information with Wanda. I said, Wanda, I think I got 3 pages, and I think it's over 100 or more. And I said, and the agendas are all different.
Yeah.
I said, but however, I'm gonna tackle them one by one because this is kind of strange that this is a big city, but this is my first experience of reaching out to chambers because I'm a businesswoman as well. And I needed to know how these communities operated. So I'm glad to hear what you've already said and looking forward to this great expansion and this opportunity for chambers to collaborate and business people to do what they have to do because I've been in business since 1975.
Wow.
So it's in various different businesses, not the same one. But I think this is going to be a great opportunity. But listen, thank you for, Wanda, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for helping me get on, Sandra, and I'll just continue to listen.
Oh, no problem. Sandra, you got the floor.
Well, that's my big sister. I always acknowledge, you taught us well. I always acknowledge my media sisters, and Margot is someone I totally look up to, so it was really good hearing her voice.
Oh,
I wanted to say this, Wanda, is that after this pandemic, our businesses have taken quite a hit.
Yes,
and so to help me navigate into a leadership position amongst the chambers, we are strategizing to become the leaders in this recovery effort because you really need to know how to, we know how the cars got in the ditch. Now we have to figure out who has the machinery to get all of our cars out of this ditch.
That's right.
And I do think that BCCI is going to be that strategic planning chamber that does not get stuck in the mud with everybody else. We have to rise above what has happened, how we can talk about what's wrong. We're the fixers. We've got to figure out how do we fix it. And so I think that's a conversation we are taking to each chamber. We are going to work with you to help you fix it. And being over the whole state doesn't leave us locked into a local conversation.
Right. Makes sense.
Hey, Wanda.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a question for Roxy.
Okay.
Can you enlighten us on why was it that Black Wall Street was so successful? And how can we duplicate that, since we need to understand, in order for us to move forward towards the 21st century, the 22nd century, we must be entrepreneurs.
Okay. And so that's an excellent way to word that question, because that to me has been one of the greatest examples of Black business. The one thing that is common across the conversation about Black Wall Street is they made an agreement to do it. They made an agreement to build together, and they made an agreement to help each other. And so we have 50 million MOUs, 50 million conversations, but we never ask if a person is committed to certain rules. Like, we're not going to tear each other down. These are things you have to go in. You've been in organizations, and part of the organization is the code of conduct. There is a code of conduct that all of us should have when we're working with each other.
That's right.
And that, I think, is the greatest strategic plan I saw in Black Wall Street, is that the people who came within that circle agreed to the common conduct of that circle, agreed to the ground rules of that circle. And we as Black Americans, African Americans, Black and brown, we have to have those codes of ethic. And when we go to a table to require something, we have to know before we get there, what is it that we really want? Because that is not the time to debate about it. We should have that community so fine-tuned that we know what our businesses need, and we are the voice to tell you what to get.
Makes sense to me.
So
Yes,
that answer is simple like this. If we work together, we are stronger. Hear me well. We are stronger together than we are independently. And that will be the mantra that we go forward with, is that we have to come together. There's no other way around it.
that makes so much sense. It does. It does. We all have to unite in order to do anything. You got to be a group. You got to form a coalition. So that's what we intend to do. We're going to work with you, Roxie. We need to, any way we can help. We have trips. You know, we do television production, radio production. We do internet, building websites and promotions, publishing and social media. So we're going to be right there with you as CCN, working to make sure that you reach the potential you can. You know, you reach out to those other chambers. You can do that, and we're going to help.
And in reverse, how about this? In reverse, when we have something smoking, we'll come to our Black media first.
There you go.
That's the commitment we have to make.
That's the way
you
it
all
has to
have
go.
the information first,
There you
and
go.
then let the others get it. We just have to make that commitment to each other. And heart to heart, I love you. Thank you for that extension.
You're welcome. Now, Miss Ali, I see you're back. How are you?
I am good, on the move. So I was trying to say something earlier, but I'm on mute. I have a mask on, guys, because I'm out in public. But I'm so excited for you, Roxie. You know, I'm here. Those who don't know me, I'm Najim Ali. I am the president of the Black Chamber. We welcome Roxie with open arms. I love her energy, like Brady said. She's dynamic, dynamite. I mean, she's coming in with a lot of energy that matches mine. So I'm super excited.
She was the regional director and got, you know, she's promoted now as our president. And this is, Mom, I think that I want to ask you about this woman to woman, because as my mind goes, I would love to utilize the show with you, Sandra and Margot, so that we can introduce our communities to our women who are Black in business.
Absolutely. And we'll have a new member on our Woman to Woman show. That'll be Miss Lavette Hayes. And we will start that show. So we'll, after this show, talk about what day and time would be good to do that.
Love it.
Okay?
Najim, are you there? Did we lose her?
I know I am here.
Oh, okay.
I don't think you guys.
She's fading
I'm
in
going
and
in
out.
and out. So I'm just excited to have you on Roxie, you know, our team. I'll just leave that. I'm sorry, you know, I had a bad connection. I'm out running around again and different businesses. So I'm super excited. Thank you for the introduction. I'm looking forward to working with these people here about the woman and business opportunity. Roxie, fill me in later. But thank you, and I love you already. You know I love your energy.
Thank you.
So
right.
Wanda.
All right, lovely, lovely.
I didn't hear, what is Roxie's new title, and what is Miss Ali's title?
Roxie, help us out.
Okay, so Miss Ali has been promoted to the president of the Black Chamber of Commerce of Illinois, and my title is the Chief Administrative Officer.
Okay.
Okay.
So who was the past president of the chamber?
The past president of the chamber was a man named Mr. Corey Walker. He was the past president, and our current president now is Najim.
How long has this chamber been been around?
Well, to my knowledge, they've been working at this 10 years, but it's been a legal organization for about 6.
Okay.
Now, where is your headquarters at?
We are going to establish, and that was something they had their roots way in Decatur, Illinois, you know, and so we are going to establish at a headquarters here, so that most of us who are here will, have a hub that we can work out of,
Okay.
But originally they started it in Decatur, Illinois.
So
Okay.
do we have different chambers? Because isn't there a statewide Black Chamber of Commerce?
As Margot said, there's quite a few chambers out there.
Uh-huh.
Don't get me wrong. I saw the Illinois Black Chamber of Commerce. I've seen a lot of them out there. As for me, I am working for the Black Chamber of Commerce of Illinois, and there's only one here.
Because I know the one is located in Peoria.
A black
Right, but it doesn't, and that's the other disconnect we were talking about. A lot of them are not connected. And that is a challenge in my new role, is to try to strategically reach out to everyone and try to get us a coalition where we're all connected.
That is
We
wonderful.
don't
That
have
is
to
wonderful.
compete. All we have to do is learn how to collaborate.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's South Shore Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, well, I have dealt with the people who were over at the South Shore Chamber of Commerce. Even out here, I have Southlands, and and a lot of, if I must be very candid, this is the annoyance that I have, is
Yes.
a lot of people today want to do this, and they have a pop-up shop, and a year from now, we don't know who they are. We don't know what their accomplishments have been or what their missions are, and they change their missions every time they change their minds. And so we need consistency and
Yes.
stability for our Black businesses.
Makes
And
sense.
so what I extend to my sister Margot is, I'm not looking for someone to give me what I think I need to have. I'm so courageous, I'm going to make it what I need it to be.
There you go. Oh, I like that.
I have a question, Roxie, and it kind of leads into what TJ was talking about a little bit. There's a large group of high schoolers which have come out, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, who have been doing some really enterprising businesses out here. We have one, for instance, that's a really good friend of his that makes these desserts that she's been selling and continues to sell. I mean, what a great way to do it. You attend a school where you have 2,000 or 3,000 students. That's your base. They start purchasing things from you, and it just grows. And they need a little more guidance now. We had another gentleman. I think he's doing some type of print design, and I mean, they're 16, 17. Maybe one of or two of them might be coming up 18, 19. They're going to be emancipated soon, but they're already making nice money just doing these things, doing the COVID-19 to keep from, I guess, going stare crazy.
Right.
Correct.
Will the chamber have some type of program that will help these really young entrepreneurs, not only help them with their up and coming business and what they need to do, still encouraging them to go and get that college degree? Will it be able to have something to help them grow and to point them in the right directions? Because they're coming out in large numbers now, more than I had even anticipated.
Sandra, I mean, my goodness, if you won't get out of my head, it's so beautiful to hear the words come out of your mouth, because out of all the chambers here, nobody is really thinking about what we're going to leave that next generation of entrepreneurs. And that is so embedded in my position here. So what I want to do is take from even what you said and make it an entity that we contact schools and we discover the talent that's out there. The only thing that we're going to have to work vigorously together as one community, there are federal dollars out there that support innovation and new creation of business. We are going to be aggressive. Our chairman knows me like the back of his hand. He knows there's a grant on the street, I don't leave no money on the table. All you can do is tell me no, and I can take 10 no's to get one yes. So that's what I'm saying. When we put something together to try to get federal dollars, I promise you, we will not leave the youthpreneurs out of that we will make sure they're part of that grant so that they are not left out. And we will have the capital to assist them to start up or trying out new businesses.
And that was a nice segue into the other question that I was concerned about. Just thinking about when I've been talking with some people who were doing business or who failed in their business, the grant writing and being able to write to the grant. Will the chamber be able to have some kind of, I don't know, webinar or some kind of program that will help
You're
those?
talking to me, Sandra. I am going to, when I accepted this position, I already knew I had the best and the brightest grant writers behind me. I'm going to yield my strength to this chamber. And then because that has been, like I said, when I did the underground network group, I realized people could not write the grants. They see them come out and then they didn't have the money to pay the grant writers. But here we go. So what I want to do is have the chamber identify the grants, and put them out there for our membership to have access to, and then have a supportive arm within the chamber that one of our professionals can help you walk through. See, the one problem I have with our people, Sandra, is you have not because you ask not. You have to ask for help.
Amen. I say it all the time.
Yes, quit acting like you can do everything on your own because nobody will help you. But once you say, I need help, I want the chamber to be that arm where you don't have to be afraid to come and just ask for the help.
And that's the other thing, like he said, and I think TJ talked about that also, the confidence. And that is the thing. They don't want to feel like they are, some people can make you feel like you're a nuisance if you come to them for help, or they speak in such sophisticated language to sometimes the people feel like you're trying to build
the grant, and put them out there for our membership to have access to, and then have a supportive arm within the chamber that one of our professionals can help you walk through. See, the one problem I have with our people, Sandra, is you have not because you ask not. You have to ask for help.
Amen. I say it all the time.
Yes, quit acting like you can do everything on your own because nobody will help you. But once you say, I need help, I want the chamber to be that arm where you don't have to be afraid to come and just ask for the help.
And that's the other thing, like he said, and I think TJ talked about that also, the confidence. And that is the thing. They don't want to feel like they are, some people can make you feel like you're a nuisance if you come to them for help, or they speak in such sophisticated language to sometimes the people feel like you're trying to belittle them with your extensive vocabulary. I think, knowing you, I know that's never going to be a problem.
Well, I was about to say,
that's never going to be a problem. But that right there is letting them know that the chamber is a place, that BCCI is the place where you can come to for legitimate help. And help is always going to be available. And there's no dumb questions. I tell people that every time I start my training and when I finish, there are no dumb questions because that's how we make this training better, by getting those questions and having those answers. And I think if you can just even give them that confidence and that assurance that when they do come, they won't feel like they're asking a dumb question, or they won't feel like the person is trying to talk above their head. That right there will change things drastically. Because I hear
Sandra, I think you're gonna help me so much because that has to be embedded in the professionals that you work with. I give you guys this. When I came into like the interviewing mode for this position, the one thing I liked about this board is they were very humble. It wasn't about them. It wasn't about, nothing was personal. It was strictly business. And part of our business that will be a little different from them is I love to brainstorm. I love to hear people give common ideas of what actually they need to for help. So Sandra, like what you said, we have to utilize our skill of listening, and we have to rise to higher professional levels to deal with our public. And that in BCCI has to be something that we start from the top and work down. So from my position down, customer service is still going to be a part of my conversation. How you treat other people will be evaluated in your performance to do this work. I don't care who you are and how well you've done. You still have to treat people with a higher level of humanness if you are here to help them, because it's helping them is hurting them. You're not helping. So I love that you brought that out, and I will take note. I just got a pen and took a note.
Thank you, my sister.
Welcome to the show, Madeline. How are you?
Oh, I'm wonderful. How are you?
Fine, fine. You have a question for our guest?
Well, I got a chance to hear Roxie in the meeting a couple of days ago. Okay. I have nothing but praise for her presentation, because I do see that she is a phenomenal woman. She brings a lot to whatever endeavor she's undertaking. And so I absolutely look forward to you, Roxie, working with BCCI to make it, to help make it the phenomenal organization that Wilbert and the rest of us envision. Absolutely.
Correct.
All right. See there, Roxie, everybody loves you, girl. You know you're doing an excellent job. We all know that you're going to take this organization to the top.
Yeah, well, I always, pay homage to the elders, because if it had not been for community leaders like yourself and Ed Gardner and Morgan and Sandra, you guys had not brought me into a fold. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. I wouldn't be in the place that I am today.
Yes.
And so I never forget my meager beginning. And some of it has been a straight struggle. As an entrepreneur myself, I just made up my mind I was getting off the corporate plantation. And I didn't plan all this stuff. I had an education, but the education wasn't working. I had a business plan, but the business plan wasn't working. And what worked is that I just got out there and did it. I got out there and networked. I got out there and made my position known. And as a woman in a man's world, it was a tough struggle for me. Yeah. But today, I won't back down, and I won't quit. And so we have an opportunity to, even through our struggle, give that strength. And that's what I hope to bring to BCCI, because what they don't understand about me, I have helped so many people bring their businesses up and never even put my business out there. And I no longer will promote that. If you are helping somebody else and you have an idea, you better learn how to multitask.
Come on now.
Because now I have 4 businesses that are all successful. The HVAC business is still going. The tax businesses has grown. You understand what I'm saying? But it took me being committed and focused about what wealth opportunities I was going to pursue, and quit letting people who were only making $40,000 a year cheat me from my $1 million idea. And so I learned along the way, and I just want to pass that on to the young people coming through, so they don't have to struggle quite as hard as I did.
Yes, that makes so much sense.
Well, this is the tax doctor.
Yes.
One of the things that I would like to see the chambers do is get behind our movement to get rid of what I call property taxes. Property taxes is destroying this state and running folks out here like crazy. And we do have a movement to get something done. I sat on the governor's task force for property tax relief. And I'm appalled at the Democrats, because they put out a report that said that the reason they can't fix nothing because other elected officials have their friends, family, and contracts and other folks on their payroll, and they can't fix nothing. And the chamber need to understand we have 7,000 units of government. We spend $30 billion a year in property taxes, and other 30 billion, 18 billion go to fund 856 school districts in this state. And Representative Mary Flowers, who was the chair of our subcommittee, we put out a report that we want to consolidate and liquidate that 7,000 units of government. And if we got rid of property taxes, that would help the business community big time.
Okay. Okay, Roxy, did you hear the question?
Okay, I hear you.
Did you hear him or no?
Yes.
Okay. So what's your response to what he said?
I think every aspect of our business and community has to deal with what issues we are faced with and getting those issues prioritized. And so the one thing the chamber will have to develop is a way to know which issues are most pressing, because we need to get in front of it, you know,
Okay.
and be strategic about engaging those conversations when they're being had. So we have a political arm, I think, within this chamber through Mr. Birch that he doesn't, I don't know if the man sleeps, but you know, he usually is a very strong person to keep his ear to the ground as to political and community issues that are most pressing, and we'll get in front of those as well. If I know them, we'll get in front of them, and that's where the community comes together. Don't be shy to let us know. We have a website, we have telephone numbers. Call us, inform us on where we need to be and what we need to do.
All right.
What is your, well, actually, I would say that I might need a little insight from you, because as of current, I serve as the commission chair for my school's student-run business and company commission. And I'd like to understand, what would you tell me so that I could help advocate for the rights of these student business owners?
What I would say to you is to network. Find the people who can assist you in the areas of your need and begin to bring them closer to you so that you can get the information to help, if they're just young businesses, them to have a launch pad and get off the ground. That's what I want the chamber to be able to offer you guys, that launch pad. If you need a mentor, you know, that we would be accessible enough to either put you with a mentor, be a mentor for a period of time until you were confident or comfortable. So, you know, I believe in initiation. Don't wait for me to come to you, baby. Get in my face, talk to me, and make sure you take my number and my email down, and everyone that's in the chamber, so that you have a direct access to us.
Okay. Well,
And Roxy, I want to kind of chime in on what you just said. I would love to be able to work with you and TJ when you're getting ready to come up with a way, like you said, for them to come to you. I think having some kind of brochure or catalog, putting emphasis on how the chambers could help these young students, these young entrepreneurs, would be really advantageous to, you know, to getting them, you know, to the table and keeping them there. Well, I think once they come, they'll stay. But for them first to understand what it is they need to do as entrepreneurs and to spell that out, because like I said, they're doing this all on their own. I forgot to tell you, there's another group. As a matter of fact, there's another person who's also on the thing, Mr. TJ Daniels, who does resume writing for folks, you know, and that has been a paid for opportunity. So they just need that help, like you just said. They kind of need that steering, that mentoring, and I guess that encouraging to,
So,
you know,
so
come
let me
to the
understand
chamber.
from either one of you. Would the best access to the chamber be that we provide training that you can access online and do it in your own time, Or are you requesting that maybe we have once a month a think tank or a meeting that our young entrepreneurs can come into and interface with me, or both?
I think you would do both. What do you think, TJ?
I believe both would be sustainable because they're allowed it's multiple avenues of communication and outreach. For those who don't understand the former, they can resort to the latter, and vice versa. Those who don't understand the latter can resort to the former.
Oh, interesting.
Intelligent young man.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. What say you, Levette? You work with artists on the West Side, and how do you think that they would be able to utilize the chamber's services?
Most artists, I'm not going to say most because I don't know, but I know that artists are their own business. That's their sustainable avenue of income, and all too often, artists, I think, get misdirected because they're in between jobs and needing to be full-time artists. So their plight comes in being small businesses and taking the time to look into all aspects of business that would make them not just have hobbies, but their hobbies turn into businesses. So I think that the resources of information forums that have tax preparers, business planners, those kind of assets that the artists can take advantage of, and maybe the chamber can have a day for the artists where we can just see how important it is to look at the business look at their art and their craft as a business.
As a business. Okay.
But what I'd like to ask Ms. Williams, what is your priority as you see the need for Black business? And I know that you included Brown, but I would like to really have a focus on what is necessary for Black business, because Brown chambers have their Brown chambers and it doesn't include us. So I would really like to know specifically how Black business, in your perspective, can take advantage of your opportunity.
Well, I'm a person who stays married to the mission of our chamber, but I say this very candidly, is that knowledge is power, and the more that we know, the larger we'll grow. A lot of our businesses are not growing because a lot of our business owners don't seek out the additional information that is needed in order to grow and expand their business. And what I mean by that is, in my career, I worked for a company called Francorp. I was their regional director, and the only Black female amongst a very talented team. And their whole objective was to take a business and franchise it. But before they could do it, it had to come through me to see if they were viable, see if that business could actually be franchised. And we did it with restaurants, to show you what I mean. The restaurant had people out the door making sales. You know, the entrepreneurs looked like they were prosperous and aspiring. And as soon as I went in and did a forensic audit, as soon as I went in and looked at the HR practices, as soon as I went in and saw the business set up, we had to shut it down.
Wow.
I had to pull out, and I wasn't able to franchise as many African-American businesses, not because the product wasn't good. I would have to sell their product to someone else and franchise it under them, rather than the business that founded it, only because the structure of the business was not built quite solidly. And so I want the chamber to give the information on building solid foundations at the beginning so that nobody can switch out your business, your product. You know, you bring value to it. If you want to sell your business, all the investment you've made, you're getting your due price out of it. Or if you want to expand your business and leave it as legacy wealth within your family, you have left them something that will stand the test of time. Yeah. But we have to get the information into these businesses, like getting these vaccine shots in the arm. You got to get it before we can go to the next level.
Makes sense.
Thank you.
We've come to the conclusion of our show. Roxie, you have been a wonderful guest. We wish you the best of luck. We'll be in contact so that we can come up with a day and time that we're going to do the Woman to Woman show. Sandra, thank you for co-hosting. Thank you.
Well, thank you for allowing me to.
And thank you, everybody, for attending. We look forward to talking with you again, Roxie.
All right. Love you.
Love you more.
All right. All right, everybody. Have a great night.
All right. Take care.
Stay safe.